So we're just in a break at the moment, and speaking of breaks, we've just had some enormous news break, literally just while I was playing the last song, and that is that the Prime Minister of the UK, David Cameron, has now resigned, or he's announced his intentions to step down as Prime Minister following the Brexit vote, where 52%, we're still counting the final votes, but it looks like that's going to be roughly the final margin, 52% of the British population decided to kick the EU to the curb and to chase their own independence. Now, there's plenty of asterisks and plenty of catches to this. While the UK itself has voted to leave, there are 4 countries in that. There's Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. England and Wales both comprehensively said, yep, we're out, see you later, guys. But Scotland and Northern Ireland have both voted to stay in the European Union. Now, whether or not they're all going to move as a bloc, I think is quite unlikely. Now, you may remember, not too long ago, just over 18 months ago now, I think it was, Scotland went through their own battle for independence from the UK, which was narrowly but soundly defeated, and the final vote kept them in the UK. Now, just hours after having these first lot of results come out, really, now there is a push from within Scotland to review that referendum decision and potentially have another crack at leaving the United Kingdom so as to stay in the European Union. Thoughts of similar thoughts coming out of Northern Ireland as well. What they do, we're still really not sure. This is a huge story, and considering we all woke up this morning, I imagine hearing the same sort of polls that at best for the leave side it was 50-50, but the safest money was on that they were going to stay. At one stage, the bookies, and of course there was a market on this referendum, the bookies were saying it was going to be about $8 to, $1.10? $8 that they'd leave, $1.10 or something that they would stay. They were odds-on favourites to stay, and considering that the polls have come back, and you may hear 52-48, and I'm not doubting that that is an incredibly split population, but when you break it down to the fact that they were meant to romp in as, well, the Remain vote was meant to romp in, is extraordinary. David Cameron has said he's going to step down. What does that mean? Does that mean we might see Boris Johnson? He would need to win the support of the party. How does that work now? Because everything is really up in the air. But David Cameron, in his press conference just a couple of minutes ago, has said that he has advised the Queen and he is going to be going through the motions of stepping down. Gee, hell of a story. And what this means throughout the rest of Europe, the rest of the world, we really don't know, because while there was some suggestion that, well, yes, they might actually end up on the outer here, the actual way that this has come about, considering that it was supposedly such an outside chance, is now extraordinary. And we've already seen some flow-on effects hit Australia. The market has plummeted today, $50 billion wiped off. The UK pound down to its lowest level. It was its lowest level since 2009 around lunchtime. Now it's the lowest level the pound has been since 1985. That is extraordinary. We've seen the Aussie dollar as well drop 3% against the greenback. So we're already seeing the fallout from this. What this means going forward, I don't think anyone really can say with much confidence. Now, just to be clear with what is going to happen immediately, probably not a hell of a lot. We've seen David Cameron announce that he's going to be resigning. How long that's going to take, we're not sure. The whole process itself of leaving the European Union is not necessarily a hard and fast one. It could take time. It could take months. It could even take up to 2 years to get the UK in whatever formation it looks like out of the European Union. It looks like we now may have to deal with differences in Scotland and Northern Ireland. It's all very, very complicated, and it's got very complicated very, very quickly. So exactly what's going to happen in the immediate future, would not have the foggiest of an idea, to borrow a good old British term. But that breaking news is that David Cameron has announced his resignation. The British people as a whole want out of the European Union. Will they be the only nations to jump ship? Possibly not, but we'll have to wait and see. So this is a little bit of breaking news in an ad break. We should come up with a catchphrase for that. I reckon we should.
Cam Reddin, and this is your homecoming on 2SSR FM.